Welcome back to English from A to Z, English in real life. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Do you ever feel like you understand English perfectly? You can watch a movie, you can listen to a podcast, you can follow along with a conversation and get every single word. But then, the second you try to open your mouth to say something, your mind just goes completely blank? All those words you know, all that grammar you've studied, poof, it's like it all just vanishes into thin air. If that sounds familiar, I really want you to hear this next part. You are so not alone. In fact, this is probably the single most common, most frustrating challenge that English learners face. But here's the good news, okay? This isn't a problem with your ability, and it's something you can absolutely 100% fix. So today in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly how to get from that silent understanding to speaking with real confidence. And the secret isn't about learning more. It's about activating the English that you already have locked away inside you. Ready? Let's get into it. First things first, we need to get a proper diagnosis. We need to understand why this is happening. What's actually going on in our brains that makes understanding so much easier than speaking? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. They are two totally different skills. See, understanding English, listening and reading, that's a receptive or passive skill. Your brain just has to recognize things it already knows. But speaking, that's a productive or active skill. Your brain has to create sentences from scratch in real time. The analogy here is perfect. It's the difference between watching a talented pianist play a beautiful song and actually sitting down at the piano yourself and trying to play it. Two completely different worlds.
And there's actually a great term for this experience: silent fluency. It perfectly describes that state where your brain is just packed full of passive English knowledge. All the words, all the grammar rules, they're all in there. But your brain and your mouth just haven't had the practice of working together to produce speech quickly. It's like you've got a giant box with thousands of puzzle pieces, but you haven't actually practiced putting them together to make a picture.
So this is the most crucial point, and I really want this to sink in. Your struggle is not about ability. It's not about a lack of talent or knowledge. The problem is simply one of activation. All that English you've learned is just, well, it's dormant. It's waiting to be woken up. You don't need to learn more stuff. You need to start using the stuff you already know.
All right, so we have our diagnosis. Now, what's the prescription? How exactly do we wake up that sleeping English and turn it into active, confident speech?
Well, it all comes down to building your speaking muscles. And you do that through small, consistent daily habits. We're going to focus on 3 of the most powerful ones: just speaking aloud, a technique called shadowing, and learning to think in English. Okay, first up, speak aloud. Now, this sounds almost too simple, but trust me, it is an absolute game changer. You've got to get your brain and your mouth on the same team. So as you go about your day, just describe what you're doing. I am making coffee. I am looking for my keys. You can also read a page from a book out loud, or my personal favorite, challenge yourself to talk about your day to yourself in the mirror for just 1 or 2 minutes. It feels silly at first, but it works. The second technique is called shadowing. This one is incredibly powerful. All you do is listen to a native speaker from a TV show, a podcast, whatever, and you repeat what they say almost at the same time. The goal isn't just to copy the words, but to copy the music of the language. You're trying to match their rhythm, their intonation, their flow. This literally trains your mouth to move in natural English patterns. So how much practice do you really need? You might be thinking hours and hours a week, right? Well, look at this. Just 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes a day. You see, consistency is so much more important than how long you do it for. That small, daily habit is way, way more effective than trying to cram in a long session once a week.
It's all about building that muscle memory. And this brings us to a huge mental hurdle a lot of learners face. They think, okay, I'll start speaking when I feel ready, when I know a few more words. But this quote, it just flips that whole idea completely on its head. You don't wait to be ready, you become ready by doing the thing you're scared of, by speaking. And that is the perfect transition to our next section, the mindset shift. Because, all these practical techniques are only half the battle. The other half, maybe the bigger half, is what's happening inside your head. It's about moving from a place of fear to a place of real fluency. So many of us wait to feel confident before we speak, but that's completely backwards. Confidence isn't the ticket you need to get into the movie, it's the souvenir you get after you've seen it. Think about it like learning to ride a bike. You didn't wait until you felt confident you wouldn't fall, right? No. You got on the bike, you wobbled, you probably fell a few times, and through that action, you built confidence. Speaking English is exactly the same. And this, right here, this just nails it. This is the real goal. Fluency isn't about speaking perfectly, without ever making a single mistake. That's an impossible standard. Real fluency is just having the courage to communicate what you're thinking, even if it's a little messy, even if it's imperfect. It's all about connection. So how do you build that courage? You have to change your mindset. First, start seeing your mistakes differently. An error isn't a failure. It is proof that you are trying, that you are pushing yourself. It's progress. Second, stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And finally, please stop apologizing for your English. You are learning another language. That is amazing, and it's something to be incredibly proud of. Okay, so let's bring all this home. Let's talk about your path forward. How do you take all these ideas and actually make English a real, living, breathing part of your life? If you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, I want it to be this. The whole reason you're learning English, it's not to pass a grammar test, right? It's to connect with other people, to share ideas. So please remember, the goal isn't perfection. It is, and always will be, connection. If you can share an idea and someone understands you, that is a massive success. That's the win. And I want to leave you with this final, powerful thought. You already have the knowledge. You have the words. That English-speaking voice you're hoping to find someday, it's not something you need to go out and search for. It's already in there. It's inside you right now. Your only job is to have the courage to let it out and let it speak. So I'm going to end this with a challenge. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. What is the first thing you will say out loud in English? It doesn't have to be some big, complicated speech. Just one sentence. Start now, because you're ready.